Welcome, everybody, to our Ayurveda talk. And I'm Marie, an Ayurvedic health practitioner. And we're going to talk today a little bit about how to start preparing yourself for spring cleanse. And I printed up a couple of different articles that are really important, Ayurvedic articles. And also, I'm using some of Dr. Laud's information about why we want to do these purification techniques. And, I always talk about this, and I do get more people doing the spring cleanse every year and the fall cleanse. So there's a completely different reasons for doing the fall cleanse compared to why you would do spring cleanse. Spring, you're really moving into a very different time. And it's interesting right now because we just moved into the Chinese New Year, which kind of kicked off a whole new energy. And apparently it's the energy of the fire horse. And I am not an astrologer person. I do not know a whole lot about it. And in Ayurveda, we do Vedic astrology. That's what they tend to follow. But there is an energy that moves through the different seasons, the different times of the day, and also the different years. And we are moving away from the snake energy, I guess, which sheds its skin. And now we're moving into fire horse energy. And as we move into that and we initiate into this whole new energy, it's absolutely perfect timing for moving into spring cleanse. So what do we want to do? We want to actually release and let go of not just our past, but we want to let go of the stagnation of winter, of the heaviness, the cold, the stuck and density of winter. We want to let go of the toxins that accumulated. It's easy for toxins to accumulate in winter because there's really no place for it to go. It's a very solid, stuck time. So spring is ideal time to do these cleanses. And these cleanses are a big deal. I was just telling a client today that came, and she doesn't know anything about Ayurveda. She doesn't know what the elements are yet. She's going to learn. I'm going to teach her. And so she's trying to wrap her head around when I said, you really need to do a cleanse. And she's like, I can't do that right now because I've got this going on and that going on. And it's because in the West, the way that we look at cleanses are these extreme diets, these extreme things that people do. And Ayurveda, first of all, every cleanse is individualized. And some people may need the 3 weeks, which is the standard time, usually 21 days. Some people need longer. Some people need more of a mild cleanse. Some people need a little bit more intense of a cleanse. So everybody's different. In the West, we just lump everybody into the same category, in the same group. Ayurveda doesn't do that because how the elements show up in each person is different. Okay, so why is spring cleanse important? Because it is a way of healing. It is a self-healing process. Think about that, you guys. It is a way of turning the disease pathway around. We don't take the time to do that. We don't stop enough to actually turn our imbalances around. We are not in a lifestyle that encourages healing. We're just not. All the busyness, all the distractions, all of that. It actually takes us further out of balance, right? What do people do these days? People that have money, what do? They go and they do retreats. They go away. I have a client that went to the East Coast. I've had clients go down to a special center down in San Diego that does Ayurveda. And they spend $5,000 a week for that. And now that same program is like $8,000. So it's expensive. Or they go to Costa Rica, or they go to Florida, or they go to these places. Why? Because life is too hectic. Life is too busy. They remove themselves, or they go on vacation, right? And they're doing these things because they're trying to help unwind the busyness of their life. But the truth is, those short little stints of self-healing or retreats or vacations, they don't really turn anything around for us, because then we come right back into this crazy lifestyle that we have. So what do? Well, we have to actually consider deeper and more programs that are more apt to individually turn your imbalances around and educate you so that you change your diet and your lifestyle that is going to help you have health and wellness. And if you don't do those things at the very basic level, you're sick. But I tell people all the time, I get really all these medicines that we have going on, they should be complementary. However, Western medicine has blinders on, you guys. And what happens in Western medicine is they look at individuals as from the materialistic point of view. What does that mean? It means that you're just a body. You're just a body. Whereas at Ayurveda, Chinese medicines, all these more indigenous type of medicines, they understand that there are many other forces involved, that you also have subtle energies that are involved, and something may show up physical, but it's actually emotional. So you have to deal with things at all levels. You can't just deal with things at the physical level. I mean, you can, but you may not get very far. It's like Dr. Gabor Mate talks about, and there's that book called The Body Keeps Score. If you're not dealing with your emotional body, then you're not going to be able to heal fully. A lot of the physical manifestation of imbalances that we have in life are due to stress, are due to life challenges, are due to traumas that we've all gone through. All right. So we want to actually bring awareness into how you do self-healing. And so the purification technique that we use in Ayurveda is called Panchakarma. Now that is just one version of purification. There's other. And it is universally aligned. In other words, it's aligned with nature. And it is always going to be in alignment with the laws of nature. What is nature doing? Well, we have wind, which is ether, air. We have fire, we have water, and we have earth. And all those elements are impacting us. And as we come out of winter, what's melting? Winter's melting. And as winter melts, we are naturally set up to do what the body already wants to do, which is to flush things out, remove, clear out. So that's what we're moving towards. And I am offering you guys an online course. Everybody can do it. It's a drop-in fee. That's it. You could do it. It doesn't cost that much. So when you are dealing with winter and you're starting moving into spring, what starts to happen is you start feeling the sluggishness, the fatigue, and the heaviness of kapha season. And this is why it's important to do a spring cleanse. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some of the signs that might be showing up that you know for sure you need a spring cleanse. You might start feeling like something's off. Your body may be showing accumulation of toxins, so you lose your appetite. And that's starting to sound like a kapha imbalance. That's what will happen. And so understanding kapha is really important, because kapha is heavy, it's slow, it's lethargic, it gets stagnant, and it starts to accumulate as we move towards spring, which we are definitely doing. So your body feels heavy. You might have weight gain, water retention, puffiness, swelling. You might feel sluggish and heavy, and even if you get enough rest, you still feel like you didn't get any rest. You might have a difficulty getting out of bed in the morning, especially if you are not getting out of bed before 6 a.m. So get out of bed before 6 a.m. That will help you. There's just a sense of heaviness, a feeling of you're being weighed down. Also, digestion slows down. And if digestion slows down, that means you have weak agni, weak digestive fire, no appetite, or a slow digestion, which means that your appetite's there, but it's not that strong. And you feel full even though you haven't eaten. Or you have excessive saliva and a sweet taste in the mouth. Also, nausea and heaviness in the stomach definitely happens. The respiratory system starts getting impacted, and you might notice an excess there of mucus, congestion. Your sinuses and your chest might start being impacted. You might have colds and respiratory imbalances. So, a respiratory infection, that's all kapha. It's telling you you need to do spring cleanse. Thickness and more mucus production, especially in the morning. Difficulty breathing deeply and feeling like you cannot get a full breath. This is all kapha. Post-nasal drip, or you constantly need to clear your throat. I notice that if I have dairy during this season, all of a sudden I'll be like, that's what'll start happening. Energy starts to diminish, and you just feel like you don't have a lot of motivation. Difficulty waking up, getting started, and feeling like you are moving very slowly and sluggishly, lethargic, procrastinating, resistance to change. Depression or emotional heaviness starts to occur, and you might feel attachment or have a difficulty letting go. What happens in the mind? The mind becomes dull. You might have brain fog, difficulty concentrating and staying alert. Memory feels a little less sharp, or you start forgetting things. Thoughts feel slow and unclear, and then you might feel excessive sleeping taking place, or you take a nap, and instead of a little cat nap for like 15-20 minutes, it turns into hours. That's all kapha imbalance, you guys, and you need a spring cleanse. Okay, so this means that you might have some kapha aggravation. That means too much water, too much earth has built up. Toxins from winter have accumulated. It is time to clear it out. Okay, so that's our talk for tonight. I want you guys to start thinking about getting yourself ready to do a spring cleanse. And starting next week, we're going to start breaking it down. Every year I go through this because it's that important.